What's a disturbing fact most people are unaware of? Your memories, even your most treasured ones, are not reliable. You remember a number of things that did not happen the way you recall. Every time you remember something, you're just remembering the last time you remembered it. That's why they are unreliable. The US military is supposed to be neutral when it comes to politics. If you see a person in uniform at a rally, the politicians will most likely pull them up, so they will be seen. They represent the military in uniform, so the politician is trying to say, see, the military supports me. We are not supposed to do that. We will get in trouble or risk getting in trouble along with the rest of the branches being sat down for a 2-hour class on why not to do it. Furthermore, the reason we stay neutral is because we're not supposed to support a side, because we're supposed to protect everyone. It's also to prevent the nation from becoming a policed state. A service member can vote or have a political view, but they are supposed to express it outside of the uniform. In conclusion, military is supposed to stay neutral because we're supposed to be Autobots, not Decepticons. Someday someone will think about you for the very last time. After that, they will forget about you. To add, there will be a day in which someone on this planet thinks of your existence for the last time, and for the most part your memory is gone. Sure, you'll exist on paper in some places, digital databases, but your entire life, all you've done gone, just a name on paper. Sadly, I recall reading once, or hearing in college, that this takes as little as 3 generations usually to occur. The strangelet problem, a theoretical particle that, if it ever came into existence and touched something, would violently turn it into another strangelet, so on and so forth, until the entire universe had been knocked down to this equally stable and entirely dead, boring existence, all because an atom hit an atom with the exact opposite amount of energy, and started the great leveling. It could happen so fast, we wouldn't even comprehend it. The fact that a school that openly admitted to abusing children was allowed to operate for 40 years even after several state audits witnessed abuse occurring. It shut down in 2011. Because of money problems, the people who abused kids there got away with what they did. Seriously, for those who have the stomach for it, look up the Alarm School. They killed a 15-year-old and covered up his death. California has a law against cremating more than one body at a time in a cremation. This law is directly because of the Lamb Funeral Home, which was run by a man with the nickname Lil Hitler by his staff, who would stuff as many bodies as possible into one crematory, and also sold prosthetics and gold teeth off bodies. Allegedly tried to poison a competing funeral director who suspected him, had Coke cans full of teeth in his house's walls, and more. Fun fact, if the poisoning was proven, it would have been the first legally recorded intentional oleander poisoning. Child labor is not banned in the US. For farm labor, less than a handful of states in the US have totally banned slavery. Colorado was the first, in 2018. Yes, you read that year right. There was once an effort to ban child labor by constitutional amendment. It didn't pass. According to public source intelligence, Russia has the most nukes of any country on Earth at 6,300. 1,500 are active, 3,000 ready reserve, and the balance is awaiting dismantlement and the recycling of their fissile material. The US has 5,500 nukes with 1,400 active, 2,400 ready reserve, and the balance retired. The rest of the nuclear club: China, 350, France, 290, the UK, 255, India, 165, Pakistan, 156, and Israel, 90. With the advent of hypersonic delivery systems, which can deliver warheads much faster than ballistic missiles, the launch windows for ballistic missiles like the Peacekeeper are severely stressed. The decision loop is shortened, so that a launch decision has to be made at once, or the missile will be destroyed. Nuclear subs and SLBMs further stress the launch decision loop as they can launch much closer to their targets. You forgot about the US and Russia letting the treaty on intermediate ballistic missiles expire. Imagine a nuclear warhead carrying Iceland launched from Kaliningrad at somewhere in Europe. How long would, let's say, Germany have to react? Also, reason the new hypersonic glide vehicles being developed are more dangerous is not really because they are hypersonic. ICBMs are already hypersonic. It's the fact you can maneuver them in unpredictable ways while in flight to evade missile defense systems. You can make dead bodies make sounds with their vocal cords while they are being embalmed. Watched a mortician on Instagram do it. Gently pressed the area where the vocal cords are together, and the vibrations from the embalming process resulted in sounds. Might have explained that badly, but it was disturbing but cool. The number of people that died from COVID worldwide is estimated to be 15 million. I'm from Portugal. Our population is around 10.5 million. The number of COVID deaths is bigger than the population of a small European country. The womb is not a welcoming place for the fetus. It's merely the safest place for the mom to contain the fetus, so that it doesn't kill her. No part of the woman's body is actually welcoming. From the moment of conception there is a chemical/biological war between the two, with the mother's immune system attempting to kill the invader, and the fetus is releasing various hormones and substances to evade and disarm and hide from her immune system. Meanwhile, the fetus tries to take as much nutrients as possible from her body, with no regard for her safety. If the embryo ends up outside the womb, as happens from time to time, it will still attach its placenta to any organ around it. Kidney, liver, intestines. But because these organs don't have a detachable lining, when the time comes for birth, the placenta will cause a lot of damage to the organ it attaches to, that is if it is able to get enough nutrition out of it. Because these organs aren't as heavily vascularized as the womb, the fetus will eventually starve and die. Ectopic pregnancies often kill the mother, but when they don't, she will form a protective layer of calcium around the dead fetus, insulate her body from what it considers a foreign contamination. Maybe not as disturbing as other posts, but the act of hitting someone in the head won't actually knock them out. It's more likely to kill them. In movies, you see people hit a person on the head with something heavy, like a book or a brick or even heavier items. This won't knock a person out so much as give them a concussion or flat out just kill them. Our heads are pretty fragile. Landing wrong from a simple fall could even kill you. And it's also why football is insanely dangerous. I know there's probably an explanation, but I saw this somewhere. The existence of the uncanny valley implies that at some point in evolution humans needed to know when something didn't quite look human. I think the explanation I saw was for when people are sick. They look different and our instincts tell us to stay away, or we might get sick too. I have a different hypothesis for why the uncanny valley is a thing. It is known that the human brain has dedicated regions for recognizing other humans. That's why prosopagnosia, face blindness, is a thing. When something is kind of human, but not really, then the brain gets confused about whether it is supposed to handle it with the object recognition regions or the human recognition regions, and that causes stress. That cats and dogs will eat you when you are dead. They tend to go for the neck, face, and any exposed areas first, and then, if not discovered in time, they may proceed to eat the rest of you, which have been numerous confirmed cases of this occurring. Decay. Why people find this disturbing? They are predators. There's a corpse right there. They are getting hungry because their source of food went and died and aren't feeding them. I don't blame them. Lol. Diogenes had the right idea. The world isn't overpopulated or running out of resources. The output of resources is merely controlled by very rich evil individuals like oil. Global warming, however, is very real, but that's not because of population, that's because people just want money. Retrograde amnesia makes it possible for a disease or injury to basically perform a factory reset of your brain, such that you lose all prior episodic memories along with your sense of self. Survival of the fittest still applies to intelligent species. We are very arrogant to believe we will ultimately survive ourselves and travel the stars and make Earth into a paradise. There are no guarantees whatsoever. When X-ray technology first became widely available to pediatricians, they noticed a startling high number of broken bones. Befuddled doctors assumed there was a previously unknown pediatric bone disease being observed for the first time. Turns out we had no idea how common child abuse is, or the fact that humans can be turned to diamonds due to how much carbon we are made of.